hope that you can see me. I'm having some issues with technology this week. Okay, so yesterday we recorded the full moon video. However, we had some issues with, I guess it's staying on the page. Not sure exactly what caused that, but like I said, we've been having technical problems here lately. Feels like Mercury should be in retrograde, but it's not. It's just me. Okay, so we're gonna get started here. All you need, this is something that you can do at home. You don't need to go running out and buying anything new, unless the only thing that I can say that you might need if you don't have already is a form of cleansing tool. So this right here is sage. This is white sage. This is Palo Santo. Both of these are cleansing mechanisms, but you can also use cinnamon, cedar. There's quite a few other cleansing things that are not coming to me at the moment, but these are the two most popular. So you can use some form of cleansing. We're gonna go over an incantation that you use to cleanse your space before we start the actual ritual. So actually that's a part of the ritual, so that'll be our first step. And then from here we have some sheets of paper. So you just need to take a blank sheet of paper and just cut them up into strips. You need 2 bowls of water, so 1, 2. And then of course, if you're doing this under the moon, which is highly suggested, hopefully you can get outside, just to be even more powerful, but if you can't, indoors is completely fine. It'd be nice to have some crystals and some candles or something like that. These are things that you can use to kind of make it your own ritual. I typically don't have everything that you see here out for my full moon rituals. I normally just have sage and 2 things of water and then my strips, and I call it a day. But it's nice to have, you know, some crystals and things around. Make your intentions even more powerful. So what we're doing today here is releasing some of our negative views and attitudes that we hold towards food. So what we'll be doing here is just writing down things on these sheets of paper that you'd like to let go of. Last night we started and we had something like late night eating, overeating, cravings for sweets, lack of self-control. So you know yourself well enough by now, and if you haven't, maybe this is a good time to kind of sit with yourself and think. You've done diets before. What was your reason for failing? Was it only because of not having healthy foods available to you, or was there some sort of self-sabotaging behavior? And if that's the case, then maybe you need to also work on, you know, some deeper rooted issues where that might come from. Why might you not feel worthy of like being your best size or your best health or whatever the case might be? You can fill in the blank according to your situation. But let's see, last night I put unhealthy food. It would be so funny if this flames like last night's recording did. When I ignited this sheet, it like literally like went up in flames, and that might indicate that I'm really ready to let go of unhealthy eating, unhealthy food. You know, vegans have unhealthy foods also. Common misconception that everything about vegans is healthy. Okay, so unhealthy food was one, but like I said, you know your triggers. For me, I like salty, crunchy foods. So snacking, I'll put snacking. But you'll fill in the blank with, just use your preface as, during this full moon, I would like to let go of. If you think of it like that, and then you just write down on this piece of paper what it is that you'd like to let go of about your eating habits that is not healthy, that is not helping you to achieve your goals, then filling this out is probably pretty easy. And if you find that you're struggling with it, just sit with it for a while. Meditate on it for a while. Don't force yourself. You have about 3 days worth of energy from the full moon, so you have about until, I would say, Tuesday-ish, Wednesday, to use the strong effects of the moon. Of course, they're most powerful today. So, yeah, so let's see here. You also, for some reason I forgot last night too, to indicate that you also needed a lighter. And if you have a candle, this might make it even easier. Also, what we forgot to mention last night, well, I failed to mention it until later, is that it would be nice if you're indoors and if you're scared of fire, or if you feel like, you know, there just might be any hazard, please have a fire extinguisher around if you think that might be an issue. So all you're doing is taking this sheet of paper that says unhealthy food, you're going to ignite it, and as it's burning in flames, all you say is, I now let this go, and so it is so. And you can change that wording up. If you're not comfortable with that, just say something along the lines of it being an affirmation. I now let this go, and so it is so. Not I would like to let go of, or I'm having trouble. Don't bring any negativity into this. You're speaking it as if this has already happened. So I now let this go, and so it is so. So this is unhealthy food. I'm going to ignite this. And if you have trouble with it burning, if you find that the sheets of paper does not burn as easily, or if it stops in the middle, sometimes that can be an indication of something you're not ready to let go of. So just keep in mind if you have that problem. What might be your setbacks with fully releasing that attitude or that belief system? As I stated last night, a lot of us have issues from when we were children and being forced to eat the whole meal, even though we were full minutes ago. Some of our parents thought that it was a good idea to just have us to finish our plates. And while I understand that concept, it also teaches children bad habits as far as not listening to your body when it's giving you signs that it's done, or it needs you to pay attention to it, and you're ignoring its signals like, hey, our belly started cramping 3 minutes ago. You know, we need you to recognize and support our needs right now, and you're ignoring that. And so you've gotten in the habit of doing that as an adult, and it's not even something you're even consciously aware of at times. But the need to finish your plate might be something that's preventing you from reaching your health and wellness goals, or your fitness, or not fitness goals, but your nutrition goals. So, and then some people have issues with emotional eating. So we're gonna burn snacking right now. And I'm just gonna say, I now let this go, and so it is so. I'm gonna show you what this other bowl is for very shortly. So if you have an issue with finishing your plate and having the need to finish your plate and then ignoring your body's symptoms, maybe you could say something like, I now let the not listening to my body, really. Because that can encompass, not listening to your body can cover nutrition, it can cover intuition, signs that you're receiving, you know, from spirit. If you're not listening to your intuition, you know, that gut feeling sometimes, and it's known as a gut feeling, but you might experience it in other sensations in your body. You know, some people get chills or goosebumps, things like that. If you're not listening to your body, then your intuition might it could end up dwindling because you've turned a blind eye to your body time and time again. And so if you're being ignored, you know, if you're talking to your boyfriend or your girlfriend and they're ignoring you every time you decide to talk to them or share something with them, then you can't be upset when, or they can't be upset, they can't be upset if you stop listening, you know? I don't even know if I said that right. But let's see here. You guys know what I mean. All right, so not listening to my body's cues. And then you can let that go. I now let this go, and so it is so. All right, so that's that. I'm gonna do 3 of those, but you guys have more late night eating, overeating, overindulging, binging, etc. And so all you're gonna do is, when you're done, you'll return this to the earth, or you can throw it down your sink. I recommend I have a balcony here, I just throw it back to the earth. And then when you're done with your ritual, all you're gonna do is just take this bowl of water and you're just pretty much like washing your hands of the things that you have already now affirmed that are not problems anymore. One thing I did mention last night is be aware in the next coming days or the few next coming weeks, if you start to see that other issues might surface, because sometimes you might find that your cravings for sweets per se, or for instance, might be rooted to an emotional lack or a lack of happiness in your life. And sometimes these things come up, or when they come up, it's really coming up because you asked for the cravings for sweets to be gone. And when that's peeled away, then you start to get to the root of the problem. I used the example last night of a person going to the doctor because they were having issues with panting and sweating, and they're going to the doctor asking the doctor to cure the panting and sweating, and really the doctor just does his examination and he finds out that the guy's, you know, hot. He's been in the sun, he's been running, you know. It's like, okay, panting and sweating is normal when you're hot and possibly even dehydrated. Let's just cure the issue with the heat, put you in a 60-degree room, and then pump you full of IV saline or give you some water, and then you normally will notice that the panting and the sweating goes away. So sometimes these things, the panting and sweatings kind of thing, the cravings for sweets, are really just a symptom of a deeper underlying issue. So just keep that in mind. That's something I wasn't really necessarily made aware of, I think, when I started my practice. I didn't realize that when I was asking for these small things, you know, these small symptoms, that there were deeper roots to those. I just realized we didn't clear the room, so I'm gonna do one thing with that. But I also wanted to say here, amethyst. If you're having an issue with sobriety, namely, maybe you just are not, maybe, I'm not even just suggesting that, you know, alcohol is a problem, but maybe you're just indulging too much or too often, or to be honest, anytime that you don't necessarily want to indulge or have a drink and you're still having a drink, then that's already another way that you're not listening to your body's cues. So if you're having an issue with sobriety, amethyst is a strong stone to help with that. It's also a great stone for issues with sleep, so insomnia and things. So I also keep this amethyst is normally by my head at night while I sleep to help with my crown chakra also. And the most important, well, one of the most important steps that I stopped. Sorry guys, I got really into just putting the other information out there, but we're gonna do a small, this is what you'll start out with. So hopefully you guys watch the full video because I did this backwards. So what you're gonna say here, and this is something that you can totally make up on your own. Today is a great day to sage your whole house or smudge your whole house. Like I said, with any of the tools that I suggested before. It's just a really good time to purge anything that is not serving you, anything that is not attributing to your growth or hindering your growth. It needs to go. Write it down on these pieces of papers, you know, like it doesn't just have to be anything related to food. You can definitely add more things that are not helping you. Limiting mindsets, you know, because that's a lot of times we limit ourselves from success. I've been guilty of the same. So write that down. Burn the desire to hold on to this like lack mentality. Let that go. Or scarcity mentality or lack of abundance, you know, those kinds of things. Let all those things go. All right, when it comes to the sage, I say, this is my suggestion, is I clear the space. Oh no. Daggone it. Okay, this is a good point. Whenever you're using the sage, you might as well just go ahead and, if you don't have an abalone shell, just grab something that, what am I trying to say? Something that will hold it, because if any of the ambers fall off, an ashtray or some sort, if the ambers fall off, then they can like mess up your carpet if you're in your carpet, or any floor coverings or anything like that. Table coverings, as you just might have saw. Okay, so I cleanse the space of any negative energy that no longer serves me. You can say that. That's sufficient. I cleanse the space of the past. I cleanse the space of things that no longer serve me. I cleanse the space of any energetic debris that is not aligned with light and love. So I clear the space of the past. There you go, that's one. I clear the space of attachments that no longer serve me. That's another. I clear the space of energetic debris that is not aligned with light and love. And you can really do this in all areas of your home. Getting your corners, energy kind of can hold there sometimes, so. Okay, this thing really wants to like wreak havoc on my. I'm so glad I only bought this tablecloth from Walmart because I'd be really upset if it was a nice expensive one. I think it was like $5. I don't even think it was that. And that's good enough. So you'll start your ceremony off that way, and then from there, you'll do your ritual here, making sure to finish off with rinsing your hands. If you don't do it in a bowl, just make sure that you go to the sink and wash your hands, and just keep that intention in your mind that you've now let these things go that were not serving you. And that's it. It's done. Like I said, don't be afraid that if you start to see things come up in the next few weeks or so that might have a rooting, because as you're letting these things go, it might be like, okay, well, you got something else that you got to dig into to kind of let this symptom completely be vanished. And that's okay, because that's what our goal is. We're trying to get these things tackled, right? Like all this stuff that's not serving us, we no longer want it in our lives. So I would definitely journal. I would use this as an opportunity to journal. I know we always say that at the beginning of the year, it's something we want to start, but we never do or never complete. But when you start getting into rituals and doing self-reflection and introspection and things, it's kind of good to see your thoughts on paper and also see anything that occurred that month that had maybe like a reoccurring theme, so that you can address it. So sometimes things come back up and they keep coming back up because it's like, hey, I need to be fixed. See this wound that you only put a band-aid on that needed stitches? Yeah, anytime I get some tension on this area of skin, I'm gonna rip, because you never really got to the core of the issue. So sometimes that happens, a lot of times that happens, and if that's the case, then journaling is good, because you get to see those things continually come up, and you can visually read and see, okay, this happened to me the first week of June, first week of May, first week of this, or something like that, and you start to see a pattern, and then you're better prepared for it, and then you can actually heal it. So I hope this video helped you guys. Sorry about my last night's recording not uploading, but I appreciate you guys for your patience, and happy full moon. Goodbye.